Alright guys, I'm gonna open up with a quote from my favorite overall personal development YouTube channel. He says, "I think fulfillment has a very specific universal formula, and that formula is work your ass off to get very good at something that you care deeply about that allows you to serve not only yourself, but other people. That's it, you gotta have all of it." So stick around to the end to find out who said that. But before that, I'm gonna share with you my favorite personal development YouTubers in different categories. For example, I have best use of filmmaking or best spiritual YouTuber and so on. And all of these channels have influenced me very, very much. In fact, I would consider myself to be just a culmination of a bunch of the stuff that I've learned mostly through all of these channels. So if you care at all about everything I have to say, then you'll probably care about what these people have to say. Alright, so without further ado, let's get into the first award, which is Best Lifestyle Vlog for Men. So the reason why I'm starting out with this one is because this is actually the first YouTuber that I started following, and by now, if you've been watching some of my videos, then you already know who this is because I talk about him all the time. But it's because he's been such a huge inspiration to me. So who I'm talking about, of course, is How to Beast. And while I mainly watched his channel at the beginning for the information that he gave out, which is mostly stuff about confidence and dating advice and fitness tips and things like that, the reason why I mainly watch him till this day is because of the cinematics. The way that he makes the videos now, it just keeps getting better and better, and each video is kind of like a little movie, and I strive to make my videos like that. Also, he's getting really close to 1 million subscribers, so if you want to go ahead and check him out, I highly suggest you do so. And another person who's coming up on 1 million subscribers is the person who I chose for Best Spiritual YouTuber, and that is Aaron Doughty. I've been watching his videos for a long time now. They're pretty awesome. I mean, he posts almost every day, so I can't say that I've seen almost all his videos like I can say for How to Beast. But he posts pretty much every day, like 15 to 20 minute videos, usually of just him talking, sometimes explaining things on a whiteboard. If you guys have been here for a while, you'll notice that I had a whiteboard for some of my early videos, and that was largely inspired by him. But he was one of the first people that I started watching that got me into spirituality. But just as a word of caution, some of his videos can seem a little bit out there, and even he will say that himself sometimes. So take everything he says with a grain of salt. Also, this is kind of random, but I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. This isn't the first time I'm filming this video. The first time was actually yesterday, and let's just say it's not something that I want to post online. It was extremely cringy because I put it into the editor and I realized, wow, there's no way I'm making an entire video like this. But luckily for you, I haven't deleted all that footage yet, and I'm gonna include a little snippet right at the end just because, you know, 36 minutes of footage can't go completely to waste. Am I right? Alright, so I'm doing this slightly in chronological order a little bit, so this next one is also one of the very early influences on me. So this is the category Best Dating Advice for Men. Now this one isn't exactly a channel, it's actually a group of people. It's a company who has different people with their own channels. But the company is Real Social Dynamics, or RSD. If you're not sure who they are, I actually made a video about them a couple months ago, which is actually blowing up, so thank you to anyone who's been watching and supporting that. It has over 10,000 views now, which is awesome. It's one of my first videos that's ranking really well in a search term. I think it's ranking number 1 or 2 if you just search RSD on YouTube. So that's pretty awesome, and it's helping my channel grow a lot, so thank you. But other than helping me grow my YouTube channel, they were also one of the biggest influences on my early personal development. The main 3 guys that I used to watch were Max, Julian, and Tyler, who's kind of the boss of everything. But nowadays, if you watch that video that I just mentioned about RSD that I made, you'll notice that they're not really doing what they used to anymore. They've all kind of gone their separate ways, and they're making just more general personal development videos. But at the time, they were focused a little bit more on dating advice, so that's why I chose them for this award, even though right now they actually do very general personal development stuff. Alright, so moving on to the next category, we have Best Charisma Coach. And I'm gonna have to give this one to none other than Charisma on Command. I'm sure you've heard of them, but in case you haven't, they do these really awesome videos where they'll take either a celebrity or even a fictional character played by a celebrity in a movie, and they'll break down everything that they do and talk about why that makes them charismatic or why it makes them unlikable. They do really good in-depth analysis with a ton of B-roll footage of these people doing those things, and it's like, it really feels like you're there with them, having them break down the movie for you and show them everything that they're doing. So it's pretty awesome. All right, now this next award, I'm sure if you like my channel, then you'll like this one as well. This one I call the Get Shit Done, Love Every Step Award. In case you're new to the channel, this is actually kind of my little catchphrase because in my opinion, that's really all there is to life. If you can be getting shit done and loving every step of the way, you're set. So the winner of this one is Gary Vaynerchuk, or Gary V. The reason I give him this one is because he was actually kind of misunderstood as being the poster child of hustle. when in reality he really wants to be the poster child of happiness. But the reason why I got confused is because he loves to work, and that's not the case for most people. In other words, he says that you should just do what makes you happy, and for him it just so happens that business and entrepreneurship and working like 16 hours a day is what makes him happy. So he also says that if you'd rather just work a 9-to-5 job that you kind of like and then make money to go home to your kids and spend the weekends traveling and doing things like that, and that's what makes you happy, then go ahead and do that. He's not shaming that by any means. So this is a great channel because he talks a little bit about business and stuff, but he really ties everything into life in general and being happy. All right, so the next category is best social experiments, and I have to give this one to Yes Theory. So these guys basically do all sorts of crazy stuff, like letting a coin flip decide everything they do for a day, or letting a 5-year-old control their first date, as well as cool experiments like trying a 5-day water fast where you don't eat anything, or trying the Wim Hof method, going up to the mountains and hiking a mountain in only shorts. The reason I like this channel is just because they do really crazy things that you probably wouldn't normally do, but that you might actually want to try. And it's also cool because it's just a group of a few guys that seem to be having a really good time and just learning a lot about life and expanding their comfort zone. Alright, now the next category is best animated videos. You know those videos where it's kind of like a white background and then they just like explain something while they have little drawings popping up? Well, it's one of those, except it's better because most of those seem to be made on some sort of program where you can just kind of tell it what to put there and it'll draw it. But this one, this guy actually draws everything out. And at the end of some of these videos, he puts a little disclaimer or whatever you want to call it, telling you that this video actually took about a month to make. And that channel is called After School. Now, apart from the really awesome drawings and how much time he puts into it, the best thing about this channel is the selection of speeches and content that they use. They use a bunch of really cool speeches, like for example, a lot of Alan Watts, Jim Carrey, just these profound thinkers, and what he does, his goal with the channel is to enhance these concepts with the drawings. Because sometimes when you're just listening to the speech, you're just listening to what they're saying, you kind of get the idea, but when there's a little drawing there, it's much easier to follow and pay attention the whole time. Moving on to category number 8, best use of filmmaking. Now, just as a little disclaimer, this of course is the top 10 best YouTube channels for personal development. So this is the best use of filmmaking in the personal development context. There are a ton of YouTubers that are really good at filmmaking, but that don't necessarily talk that much about it. But this one is a self-proclaimed personal development nerd, and that is Matt Diavella. His channel is all about filmmaking, creativity, productivity, minimalism, things like that. And what I love the most is that on his website, his little tagline or catchphrase, whatever you want to call it, is that he's a YouTuber, podcaster, and filmmaker that explores what it means to live a good life. Now, I think that is just awesome. I mean, it's a little bit broad, but it's so accurate, and I wish that I could just totally steal that tagline because that's exactly what I want to do too. Now, apart from his tagline being really awesome, the actual best thing about his channel is his use of storytelling and filmmaking. So he is an actual filmmaker. In fact, if you've seen on Netflix, there's a documentary called Minimalism. Well, he made that. And I actually kind of strive to make my videos a lot more like his, but of course he's an actual filmmaker and I have zero filmmaking experience apart from me filming myself here on these YouTube videos, so it might be a long journey, but we'll see how it goes. In fact, I already actually made a video in his style. It's the one where I said I meditated for an hour every day for a week. He did the same thing, only I meditated every day for an hour for a whole month. But as much as I liked my version, I've got to give it to him. His was much better, and that's why he won this award. But it's okay, I'll give him that award, because guess what? I won the next award. That's right, I gave myself the award for Best Up-and-Coming YouTuber. I mean, seriously, have you seen the thumbnail for this video? That is grade A stuff. But actually, it's true. I mean, this whole award show that I have right now is totally based on my opinion, so I'm free to choose myself. And you know what? Self-love and confidence, these are all cool things, am I right? But seriously, I am feeling a little bit proud of myself right now because, in case you didn't notice, I just hit 1,000 subscribers. Finally, after about 8 or 9 months of hard work, I'm finally there. And what that also means, which is good for you, is that there's a giveaway going on right now. Don't forget about it. There's only a few days left. It closes Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, there are a ton more details in case you haven't heard about it already, but the link will be in the description below, and I should have a video card up there somewhere. And that leads us into the final award, which is Best Overall Personal Development Channel. Now this is an interview show where they take people who are pretty much the best in their field. Literally, it can be about anything. It can be about health, it can be about mental health, like meditation, mindfulness, things like neuroscience, working out, fasting, who knows. And no, it's not the Joe Rogan Experience. I'm sorry. The winner of this award is Impact Theory. Now, if you haven't heard of this channel, I highly suggest you check it out. Actually, I think the channel is just Tom Bilyeu, which is the guy's name, the interviewer's name, but the show itself is called Impact Theory. Now, apart from having really good guests on the show, the interviewer himself, Tom Bilyeu, is actually a very talented interviewer. It's like, you know that he asks what seem to be the exact right questions, and he actually lets his people talk. And on top of that, he has the best introductions. At the beginning of the episode, it'll start with a little teaser of what's gonna happen later in the episode, and then he'll get into his little introduction of the guest, and man, it is like by far the best summary of anyone that you could ever imagine. In fact, I've even said before that it would be a good visualization technique to just visualize yourself 20, 30 years from now, having achieved a bunch of things and having Tom Bilyeu introduce you on Impact Theory. But anyway, most of these episodes and the general theme behind it is to kind of help you escape the matrix and just not be one of these typical, just normal people in society that just goes through the motions just because that's how it's always been, and actually unlocking your true potential. Like, if there are things you want to get done in life, work your ass off to get towards them, like I mentioned in that quote at the very beginning. Now, to give you a little bit better idea of what the channel is all about, I'm going to tell you what he says at the beginning of almost every episode. He says, "Welcome to Impact Theory. Our goal with this show and company is to introduce you to the people and ideas that will help you actually execute on your dreams." So that's Impact Theory for you. It wins best overall in my opinion because of everything that I just told you. So one of the main reasons why I made this video is because, you know, there's the typical expression, you are the sum of the 5 people you hang around the most. Well, something that a lot of people don't realize is that it's not just the people you hang around, but also the people that you watch and the content that you consume online. And for that reason, it might be a really good idea to go ahead and watch some of these channels, because the more you watch these people, the more you'll probably end up like them. And now's a pretty good time to watch all this stuff because, well, we're still in quarantine, at least in most places. So now that you still have a little bit of extra free time on your hands, I highly suggest you go ahead and check out all of these channels. I'm gonna put links to pretty much all of them in the description. And again, if you're still watching this and you haven't entered the giveaway, I don't know what's wrong with you, but I'm gonna give you one last chance. Go ahead and click that description down below. Click the link in the description down below and get your free stuff. Now that being said, I will see you in the next video. Peace. Hello and welcome to the 2020 Personal Development Awards, hosted by yours truly, Michael Dennis. Okay, that's all right. Hold the applause, All right, we got a long night ahead of us. We can't waste any time.